Welcome everyone to That Kind of Nerds podcast, a weekly show that tells you what's going on in the nerdy world. I'm CJ Millen, joined by Josh Burns and Brian Thornton.
I'm back.
Yes, the Bernstons are whole again. The void that was in my heart is now filled.
You were with me a day before recording. Like
no, but it wasn't. It was wonderful and joyous, but it wasn't.
All right, so listen, we got a lot to talk about this week. A lot of things happen in the nerdy world, but I have two things, a follow-up that I just want to hit real quick, like lightning round style. So then we can go on to move on to the wonderful topics. Remember a few weeks ago where we talked about that Samsung TV that looks like a picture frame?
Yes.
And we were all like, why? But at the same time, cool, but why? Well, Samsung has just announced...
Wait, didn't I say it'd be cool if there were a bunch of small ones?
Yeah.
Like, wasn't that part of my argument?
That was part of your argument, and now we have a 43-inch version that's joining the 55 and 65 models. Did enough people buy the 55 and 65 to justify
It's still too big. What I want is like 27-inch TVs. Frames. Like, I want them all over the house.
Yes. Like antitrust. Which is
like that.
What I brought up.
Making scary paintings at me.
Yes. I'm all for that. Can we make that? Can we write Samsung? Can that happen?
I mean, anything's possible. Go ahead and try. All right. Next part of our lightning round is this. Hey, remember Samsung used to also make smartphones that blew up? Remember how they, exploded with the Note? So there's going to be a new Note coming out, and they put out this ad that says, "Thank you so much for believing in us." And it's a thank you.
Don't stop believing. Hold on to that Note 7.
It's called a thank you note. So they have this little thing like, thanks for being, all for us. And it's basically kind of like...
Well, listen. We really, really love your second-degree burn scars. We love every inch of you. Thank you for being loyal. Isn't it dumb?
You want to hear what everyone's comparing this to for Apple? Because of course you have to compare this to an Apple gaffe.
Being courageous?
There's two that they're apologizing for is AntennaGate, right? So the fact that they were just like, hey, sorry you don't know how to hold the new iPhone, here's a case. And then the other one was Mobile Me. And if you remember Mobile Me, you're a true Apple fan because that's a deep cut right there.
AntennaGate?
Yeah, remember AntennaGate with the iPhone 4 on AT&T? If you held the phone the wrong way, it would kill all your signal.
I want you to think of the first iPhone I bought because you sold it to me.
Oh, that's right, I did.
What version of iPhone was that?
I think it was the iPhone 5, wasn't it?
It was indeed the iPhone 5, so I know nothing of AntennaGate.
Anyway, Samsung says thank you for buying their phones that exploded, and we're sorry that it exploded, and the new one won't explode no more. So just...
No explosions.
Put that out there.
We promise no splodies.
No splodies. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Thornton, right? The reason that we're all here right now is because he, again, just put on a masterclass on how to tell you what's coming out this month in the movie theaters. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the BlockBuster for September 2017.
I do not have a theme song for this. I'm sorry.
So, Brian, why don't you walk us through what's coming out in theaters and we can kind of give our gut reactions as to what's coming out.
September 8th. I want you to hold on to your butts. Because the remake of Stephen King's It is in theaters on September 8th. I don't know about you, but I know plenty of people who are scared of clowns that I will try to force to see this movie.
I want to see this so badly,
I
know what's going to happen if I do.
He's going to just violently punch people.
I really, this is the one sort of horror movie that I'm going,
But Josh, if you see it, you'll float too.
I don't want to.
You'll float too! You'll float too!
I want to properly warm up for this. Yeah, okay, there we go. Hard pass.
You're hard passing on it? Why?
I will never watch this movie.
Why?
Because this movie is not my genre at all.
Listen, horror is not my genre really either, but I can appreciate a good scare and a good story when I see it, and this looks good on both fronts, and the acting looks solid, and everything about this looks good.
I am not saying this is a bad movie in any way, shape, or form. This movie is going to be great if this is your genre. You're going to love this. This movie is going to get critically acclaimed. It's going to make a ton of money.
It's already gotten
this
critically
movie
acclaimed.
is going to be great, and it's a good movie. I will never watch it.
All right, well, you are missing out, sir. But I will say this: I don't know if you folks know, but Alamo Drafthouse, movie theater that is known for doing some big events, is allowing you to see it in a theater filled with clowns.
Oh no!
No.
The headline the next day is going to read "Burns Murders Theater."
That is a bridge too far. I would get locked up. I'd be a serial killer. I'm not kidding. Look, I'm terrified watching the trailer, and I never saw the first movie because I'm terrified. It's not just the scary stuff. You add a layer with the clown, and like just watching the trailer, I'm going, I hate it so much, but it looks like it's going to be really good. But I don't want to murder a room full of clowns, Brian. So I kind of feel like you should make sure I don't
go to this
place.
showing.
Could they be juggalos? You would be justified at that point.
Juggalos, you are justified in killing. Absolutely. Spray them with Faygo and kill them.
So yeah, I just thought that was awesome. I figured I'd throw that out there. But moving on to September 15th, no amazing movies. American Assassin is coming out. I'm sorry, this is my birthday weekend, and I figured I'd go see a movie, but apparently
this is going to be a good movie. This is
going
to be a good movie.
It's going to be a good movie, but is it a movie that you are going to see it in the theater?
I would be interested in seeing this in theater because I've seen what Michael Keaton has done recently.
Yeah, he's good. He's back.
And I am very interested in everything Michael Keaton does right now.
Wow, I really would have thought that this was I'll totally go see this movie when it comes out on iTunes. I'm so surprised.
No, this is one of those movies that I would want to see midweek.
This week, my wife and I, we signed up for Movie Pass. We actually pulled the trigger and got Movie Pass. So I would normally not see this movie in theaters. However, with Movie Pass and this only being,
but it's free,
$10 essentially, right? For the
no,
whole,
it's not $10. How many movies are you going to see that month?
For the whole month.
How many movies are you going to see in September?
Guarantee at least 4.
That seems light.
I know which 4 they are.
But even if that were the case, it's $2.50.
Yeah, so basically free.
Right.
Yep.
It's essentially free.
But if I didn't have Movie Pass, I would not see this movie.
All right. Well, fair enough. But I mean, eventually you would see this movie, right?
Yes. Just not in theaters.
Okay.
But I will see this in theaters thanks to Movie Pass.
What's next, Brian?
Mothers. That's the horror movie by the same director, Darren Aronofsky, who did Requiem for a Dream, Black Swan. Jennifer Lawrence is in it. Javier Bardem.
Did I just hear a hard pass from Mr.
Hard
Burns?
pass. Hard pass.
Hard pass for Mr. Burns.
Hard pass.
I wanna. I'm not gonna do a hard pass, but this is not a movie I'm gonna be rushing out or even streaming on demand right away. Darren Aronofsky as a director is fucked up. I don't know if you've ever seen Requiem for a Dream.
In order to convince my inner child that it can see it, I have to hard pass on anything else that might be remotely scary.
Okay.
See, for this movie, it's again, I like the director. He's done a lot of weird shit, right?
Weird.
I am intrigued with this movie, but not enough to plunk down money. However, my wife is extremely excited to see this movie, so I'm going to be dragged against my will to it. So I'll end up seeing it, but I don't want to, but I'm going to.
I'm sorry to hear that you have a wife who drags you to theaters and sees movies, whether they're good or bad. That must suck, CJ.
Or that you have a will that is so malleable.
Seriously.
No, it's the Movie Pass thing again. It's drop off the kids, and for $2.50, I'm seeing the movie.
She can't go with a friend. Like, does it have to be you?
You're implying that my wife has friends.
Oh, shit.
And that's just
it's a good thing she doesn't listen to this podcast.
Yeah, good thing. Because that's staying in the show.
That's fine because she knows it's true, so it's okay.
September 22nd is a week that I'm excited for. We got Kingsman: The Golden Circle coming out. I am totally seeing this opening night, midnight showing. Gotta see this movie.
We don't need to talk about how awesome this movie is. We're all going to see it. It's going to be freaking amazing.
All right. But also that week is the Lego Ninjago movie coming out.
Ninjago.
Ninjago. Sorry. I threw in an extra N.
On the surface, this movie looks meh, but everyone who's talking about it,
it's a Lego movie. I'm gonna go see it.
Everyone who's talking about it says it's actually really good. So,
Lloyd.
I'm on
Of
board.
course it is. It's good.
I'll see it.
It's just Lloyd. No, I named you. It's Lloyd.
Lloyd. Yeah, of course. My whole family's gonna go see this with Brian.
I'm down. Let's do it.
The
I'm ready.
Bernstons.
The Bernstons
to the movies.
Going to the movies. So yeah, definitely gonna see Lego Ninjago. I'm sure that's gonna be a great time. September 29th, we've got the remake of Flatliners coming out. People,
Boo.
who's excited
Ellen
for
Page.
this movie?
Ellen Page.
Boo.
I don't think I'd go see it in the theater, but I'll watch it.
Not theater. No,
Not theater.
No. But I'll buy it on iTunes for
Most
sure.
definitely.
Pass.
Did you hard pass?
No, I just said pass.
Did you see Flatliners, CJ?
The
Kiefer Sutherland, Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, the original one. Yeah,
Bacon.
I mean,
great. We don't need a new one.
no, we do.
No,
we
we
absolutely
don't.
do need a new one.
Mm-mm.
We
Not
need
with
to
this
bring
cast.
What's wrong with the cast?
This cast is no one's.
got
Enjoy
the
your
bad guy
Maggie
from Ocean's
Gyllenhaal
12.
cast. That's going to be nothing but cardboard cutouts with no emotions. It's going to be so boring. It's going to be no.
I want to see it just for the theme song that's in the Flatliners trailer. It's gonna be great.
I'm so sorry. There's someone in their car who just crashed and died.
Yet another ringtone, CJ. I need that. As a matter of fact, Melissa makes things happen. So just leave this in the show, and Melissa will send it to me as a ringtone. She's done it before.
I can't because dogs. You can't have that in the vicinity of.
I
any
don't
kind of animal.
look. I've never. There's never gonna
No
be
more. There's no
dogs
need
near
for-
me. I need that as that's a perfect text tone because people be like, "That's very interesting. Where'd you get that?"
Oh, your speaker's broken, sir. Did you know that? You know that your phone's broken? All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I need it now.
Okay, hold on. Then do me a favor. I apparently am very cynical about this movie, and it's not on my list. Why is this a movie I need to go see?
I'm gonna give you one word.
I wish I had something to throw at you right now. Throw it at you so goddamn
I
hard.
remember watching the first Flatliners and being genuinely terrified, but not in like a horror kind of way. It was more of a thriller type movie, but not, super duper scary. This seems like they've taken that and ratcheted up a notch. Very interested to see how this story goes, how it plays out. And it's not a bad cast, and I can get behind Ellen Page. I like her. I think she's great.
I like Ellen Page too. Tell me another person in that cast.
Nina Dobrev.
Now, you're not Josh Burns.
The villain from Ocean's 12.
Yeah, that guy.
Sure.
Him. He's great.
Okay.
The guy from Rogue One. I can't remember his name, but he's in Rogue One.
Yep.
I mean, I like.
I've seen these people. I've seen them. They're in stuff. Finally, the final movie that will finally be in September for the final week is a movie that we have finally spoken about a couple times. Finally. And it is American Made, starring Tom Cruise.
It's Blow v 2.0.
It's Blow v 2.0. This is one of those movies that if I have some time, I'll definitely go see it because I like Tom Cruise. He runs a lot. It's always fun.
Not in the theater.
This movie is getting.
I'm not in a rush.
This movie's getting shat on by a couple of critics.
I'm definitely gonna buy it when it's $5 on iTunes.
I still think this movie looks good, and if I'm let down, I'm let down. Whatever, I lost my $2.50, but I'm going to go see this. This is a movie I'm actually legitimately excited for, and I'm really worried about being let down. But I don't really care. I'm going to give it a shot.
It doesn't
anyway.
matter. It's a Tom Cruise movie. It's gonna be good.
Tom Cruise running, doing stuff,
running, jumping, climbing trees. Running, jumping, climbing trees.
That's what I want to see out of Tom Cruise, and him showing me money. Either way, I'm good. That's the blockbuster, everybody.
That is now the theme for the blockbuster. Oh, it's fantastic. It's now the theme for the blockbuster. We have it. Holy shit.
I broke CJ.
Oh my god. Oh, my eyes hurt. Oh. So before we jump entirely out of the movies and TV, I have to thank you, Josh, because you sent a trailer to a wonderful, hilarious movie that's coming out. It's called Killing Gunther. It's a large cast, but mainly starring Arnold Schwarzenegger returning back to action comedy like Jingle All the Way or The Last Action Hero or, of course, Kindergarten Cop. There's a lot of SNL people that are in this, and I'm really curious to hear what you guys think about the actual trailer itself.
Okay, that looks good. And it's not just the people from Saturday Night Live. The girl from New Girl is in it, as well as Kobe Smulders, apparently.
Yeah, but you only see her the once, but it's Taron Killam and a bunch of people from Saturday Night Live. I like Taron Killam, I do. So I don't have a problem with the movie. It's a spoof. It's a spoof flick. So it's gonna be what it's gonna be. I'm not gonna go see it in the theater.
It's a little interesting too because the way that they're releasing this movie is they're doing it on video on demand on September 22nd, and then hitting select theaters on October 20th, and then also available on demand. So it's not going to be a huge theatrical release.
You know it's good. You know it's good when it goes VOD.
Listen, it looks interesting. This is a little independent movie. There's no major studio behind this. That's why it's going VOD right away. It looks funny though. It's Saban Films, right? Saban is the same people who did Power Rangers. Saban, my bad.
It's Arnold. And regardless of how you feel about him as an actor, he's always freaking entertaining. So this is going to be enjoyable. Plus, Bobby Moynihan, who is from Saturday Night Live, is pretty funny as well. And that other guy who's married to Kobe Smulders. I can't remember his name.
Taron Killam. He's like the guy that made the movie.
Sure, that guy.
So is anyone going to see it or no?
Not in the theater.
Not in the theater.
No, not in a theater, but I mean, are you going to watch it?
I'll watch a VOD.
Right, okay.
VOD.
Let's see if anyone does. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's the time of the show where we look at the world of comics. We see how it's affecting TV, how it's affecting movies, but most of all, how it's affecting Brian. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Cape Talk.
Cape Talk.
So, Brian, we have been following, apparently it seems like every week for the last 3 weeks, we were getting news about the Titans series being released on the DC streaming service that we now have Dick Grayson cast.
I purposely did not open this article because I wanted to hear it firsthand right here on the show. Let's hear it, CJ. Tell me who's playing Dick Grayson.
Brendan Thwaites.
Brendan Thwaites? What's he from?
He's actually known from Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Oh, the movie that I didn't see.
Yeah, the movie no one saw.
Okay.
Again, a relatively unknown person taking over in this franchise.
Right, which is exactly what we said last week. More people that I have no fucking clue who are in the show, the happier I am, especially with the biggest character on the team, aka the leader of the team, aka don't call him Shorty, aka Robin. I think I'm looking at a picture of him. He looks good. He looks like he could play a young Dick Grayson. I'm totally on board for this.
So all we have left now are Cyborg and Beast Boy, right? That's all we have to figure out for.
Out of the core team, I mean, the Teen Titans as a team has had so many iterations and so many people come in and out. They can make this team whatever they want with whoever they want. I would not be surprised. First off, I don't think Cyborg is going to be in this at all. He's in the movie universe, and I'm sure
okay.
Berlanti is going to have a hell of a time trying to get him on the team if they wanted him.
Sure.
But there's so many other people they could use. There's Wonder Girl, there's Blue Beetle, there's Artemis, there's, technically Kid Flash was a Teen Titan. They can throw him in from the Flash series if they really want to. Lagoon Boy, Aqualad,
it goes on and on.
It goes on and on and on and on and on and on. So they can make this team whatever they want. I'm excited.
So again, this is just all right. Keep doing this kind of casting.
Oh, he was in Gods of Egypt too.
Well, another movie I didn't see.
Yeah, because it was bad.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's the
It
other.
wasn't bad because of him. Just the movie was bad. The movie should not have been made. Yeah.
So here's another bit of comic book news, right? So Brian, you actually asked Josh and I who would like to go see Inhumans with me in theaters, to which Josh and I both replied, nobody.
No one would like to.
It made me sad because I wanted to.
Well, go, but come on. Don't inflict that on others.
Yeah, but I don't like going to the theater alone.
Well, the beauty of this specific showing is that there's going to be 2 dudes in there. And you two can choose how close you sit to one another.
Please note where the fire escape is and push him down so you get out first.
Right, because that's going to be important.
That's
Listen,
the Bernstein way.
Hearing...
Just hope he climbs on the jungle gym the entire time.
Don't make
I'll
that a
watch
thing.
that shit from the jungle gym. Listen, I know this is getting a lot of shit reviews. I've actually read some pretty good reviews about it, too. I don't care. I'm going to watch it.
Did you see and I have the link in the show notes, the interview that some of the cast members were giving on the red carpet for the premiere? And my favorite quote is that we're just kind of loosely basing this on the comics.
I don't see what that has anything to do with how good a show it is.
That we're loosely basing it on the source material? Like, hey, we're getting a lot of flack for not being close to the source material. Yeah, whatever. We don't really care. He's very nonchalantly.
I didn't know the flack was from not being close to the source
Well, there's
material.
more to it than just it's a bad show. But I mean, what do you think of the fact that that's the defense? The defense is, hey, don't. The reason everyone's so harsh on this is because we're deviating from the source material. Well, it's loosely based on it, so lighten up. Like, is that a valid defense?
Everything in the Marvel Universe is loosely based on the source material.
Absolutely. But no one's explicitly come out and just kind of like made that their defense for why something's being bad.
It disturbs me that that's their go-to defense. Just defend the show. Like, if you believe in the project, just defend the project. We're not... Listen, there's always going to be the uber nerds who are going to try and be like, this isn't close to the source material. Well, nothing in the Marvel Universe is close to the source material, and we all love it anyway. So just defend it as a show. If you think it's a good show, say that. Or if you think it's leading up to something, because this is only the first 2 episodes that are in IMAX, which the first 2 episodes of a series are never the best. The pilot is always just enough to get you interested. It always takes a good 4 to 5 episodes, sometimes longer depending on the series.
I don't think it's a good show. I'm saying that now.
I know you don't.
I don't.
But it always takes time for the show to find out what it's going to be, how it gets its footing, who's going to be watching it. And if that's the case, fucking say that. Say, listen, there's a bigger plan in mind. There's only the first 2 episodes. Stick with it. You're going to enjoy it. It's like watching the 9th Doctor. You have to muscle through the 9th Doctor to get to the really good stuff. It's the same thing here. If that's what the case is, say that. If it's not what the case is and you don't believe in the project, then yes, you're just going to say, oh, we're not going to keep it close to the source material. Well, no shit. That's my 2 cents.
Brian's angry.
Not angry. I'm inebriated and I've run out of fruit by the foot.
All right. Anything else you want to add?
I've eaten 6 feet of fruit by the foot and it's not enough.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of Cape Talk. As we also know, I like to go around the internet, find the weird, find the obscure, find the funny, and ask these gentlemen for their tech perspective. This is just Josh Burns.
TJ.
Josh Burns, you actually got some breaking news to me before the internet did, so you are actually my source for this topic on tech perspective.
I am your source.
Google Wallet made an update to their iOS application that now lets you send money via iMessage before Apple gets to implement that feature. And I'm even on the newest beta, and they still don't have it activated, so Google is beating Apple to the punch on this.
I am also on the newest beta on my beta phone. I could not believe when I saw that this was a possibility. So I immediately started sending dollars to people.
Can you send me some money?
No, I will not. But I sent dollars around to show people, here's how simple this is. Now send me $1 back. Most of them did. The fact that Google beat Apple to something that they've actually been talking about for months and months.
Yeah, they talked about it at WWDC.
On their own device is a pretty big deal. Here's the bigger deal, I think. If you have an Android phone, you can't do this.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That Google went, you know who's more important to us right now? Apple users. Like, we need more Apple users. Can we get more Apple users? How do we do that? This is actually a really good way to do that. For people who are already using Google Wallet to get way ahead of whatever the Apple Pay option in iMessage is. That's a big deal.
Now, this isn't the first time that Google has made an iOS feature first before bringing it over to Android. So, I mean, this isn't completely out of left field. However,
what was that feature, though? What was the last thing they did?
It was there was a photos application that turned live photos into GIFs, and
good.
It wasn't on Samsung and stuff like that. It was on.
It's wonderful.
Right?
Is it as innovative?
Oh, no way!
Sending money
super
peer to peer,
and I mean, it was so easy to do it. Now the only thing is, like, I had to re-download Google Wallet because I don't use Google Wallet.
Well, who doesn't use Google Wallet? You're the anomaly.
I don't use Google Wallet.
You don't use anything digital, and I hate you.
I have a real wallet. It's got Spider-Man on it, and it's got monies.
Josh, I think if you poll our listeners, I think a lot of them are also not Google Wallet users. However,
they need to be using Google Wallet amongst other digital payment applications. It's super simple.
PayPal and what's the
PayPal's nowhere near as convenient as Google Wallet or Venmo.
Venmo is the one that I've actually used with people like this. Now, listen, here's why this is a deal, and this is why we're talking about it. Is because it's directly in the iMessage application. Like, you don't leave iMessages to do this.
You never leave messages. It's all there.
And it's really easy, intuitive, and very fast. Like, I got the money, like, immediately and then sent you back the dollar. So, you know, we were even at the end of the day. But it's really, really, really interesting, again, to see Google bringing the feature before Apple and before bringing it to Android devices, which, again, not completely out of character, just interesting thought to bring up.
So just to follow up, on an Android phone, you can receive the money, but when you click it in your text app, it asks you whether you want to open it in Google Wallet or Chrome. So you still have to leave the app. You can do it. So you can CJ send money to people with Android phones.
Right.
But they just have to, launch it in another app, which is super inconvenient and something that Apple users don't have to suffer.
So speaking then of Google, continuing on Google's path, ARKit on iOS 11 in the new beta has been very well received by developers. Some amazing things. We talked about it, right? The fact that there's now people who are making short films based off of ARKit. So Google has come out with their own AR answer. It's called ARCore. It's very similar to ARKit, but it's a little less refined right now than what Apple's currently doing. But that's because, hey, they just launched it. Like, ease up. Now, this is like the third attempt, if I remember correctly, of Google doing some kind of augmented reality. The biggest one, of course, being a partnership with Lenovo and a couple other people for Project Tango, which has been up for years. But this is, again, you had to buy special hardware. It needed like 9 different sensors. No one has a Tango device. Like, no one has one. This, though, is something that you can put on almost any phone, except the difference between Apple doing this and Android doing this is only select phones right now are capable of doing ARCore, but every iPhone that's on the market right now is capable of doing ARKit because they can all go up to iOS 11. Maybe not all.
One could very easily assume that it is their flagship devices, which is basically the entire market anyway. I think competition is good. I think the two companies racing towards something is good for all of us. So I love that Google continues to innovate. Samsung continues to innovate because it forces Apple to not be complacent. So, look, all this is good. I got no issue with any.
Listen, I absolutely agree. The more competition we can get for augmented reality, the better. This is going to be on a lot of devices, on a lot of people, on both iPhone and Android. And I think it's a very exciting place for mobile phones. And you look at the success of Pokemon Go, and you look at some of the other applications that are coming out for this, and I'm telling you, it's going to change the way you shop for things. It's going to change the way you do gaming. And that actually brings us to our next subject, and that is Lenovo. You may know the name, and you haven't heard anything really good for them in a while. However, they made augmented reality glasses with a Star Wars exclusive game on them. So this is really interesting because you put your phone, any phone, iOS or Android, into a headset, and then it kind of puts it on the bottom of it and then projects the Star Wars game onto wherever you are within the real world. They have a lightsaber that you can hold, and it feels like a real lightsaber. Just cut off the actual like sword part of it, and a floor sensor, right? And a floor sensor, and they have ways for you to go ahead and do lightsaber battles between Kylo Ren, with Darth Vader, with other people that are within the Star Wars universe. They have different challenges that are coming, but this looks incredible. The link is in the show notes, so you can go ahead and check out a quick trailer for it, but I'm curious to see what you guys thought about this because it looks like such a unique experience.
I don't have a palatial estate, so I don't have like a dedicated like great
like VR rooms,
ballrooms to have these battles in. But I'd love to hear what Brian.
You kind of look like Luke Skywalker training on the Millennium Falcon,
and that's actually one of the modes.
I'm gonna fight this robot and try to deflect all this shit. No, this is gonna be fun, really cool for a week.
Really?
This is not something you're gonna play all the time, over and over again. No.
This is something you bring out definitely for parties, right? Where you bring this out.
Yes, for those rooftop parties. You know what else I have for that?
Your
Nintendo Switch.
But I also think this is something that maybe would even go into the esports arena. I think this is something that you could adapt that way.
Absolutely not.
Why?
Because esports is about it's mostly competitive sports, like games like Overwatch and FIFA and Super Smash Brothers. It's who can come out on top. You're thinking of maybe speedrun courses, and I don't even think that's what this is going to be. Speedruns are mostly classic games like Super Mario World,
all the NES,
Super Mario Brothers, and all that shit. This is going to be awesome for a hot second, and then everyone will forget about it, much like Pokemon Go.
That's Brian's tech perspective.
That's so it's going to retail at launch for $199. That's including the headset, the lightsaber hilt, and the tracking beacon. I mean, that's
$200.
That's not that. That's not
No,
that bad.
Holy
not that
shit,
expensive,
dude!
no.
That's terrible.
Absolutely not. I'd give this frowny faces all over the place.
I mean, really, in what respect could you justify spending $200 on this shit?
I mean, I wouldn't. I think it's cool, but I would definitely be if I was at someone's house and they had this, first thing I do, hi, how are you? I don't give a shit. Give the Star Wars thing right now. Let's do this. Like, pleasantries. Yeah, we haven't seen each other in such a long time. Yeah.
So what we need to hear from the listeners is who will buy one and then invite CJ.
That's all I want to do, man.
Listen, I own a VR headset for my PlayStation. It was amazing for a couple months, and I'll play it every once in a while. But that's it. It's done. This is going to be the same flash in the pan.
AR is better than VR.
I think
AR is better than VR. I feel you. I feel everything.
Hold on.
Deep
Well, then
into my bones.
before you shit on the rest of AR, there's one other AR franchise that we need to talk about.
Is this the Walking Dead article that I
It's
put
the
in there?
Walking Dead one. Yes. So The Walking Dead is also getting on board for the AR train too. So they're doing a similar concept that we've kind of discussed with other games too. You hold up your mobile device, and now walkers are coming at you in a virtual environment. You can run away, you can move around. You have a weapon on the screen, tap and interact to actually go ahead and shoot it. And you get a first-person, real-world experience of hunting zombies, but it's all done in augmented reality. So no clumsy headset. No need to buy a big rig. No need for a palatial estate. Out in the world, you can totally do this. Get people out in the world killing zombies. I think it's the first of its kind of location-based, augmented mobile reality zombie killing game. It's kind of what people want.
Will they advertise trading and battles with my friends and then never give it to me?
No.
But don't worry. Gen 3 legendary zombies are coming to this app.
I don't hate the concept. I've modified it a bit, and I've downloaded an app that actually allows me in augmented reality to kill people that watch zombie shows.
I was waiting for the Walking Dead hate to come out of Josh's.
That's what I've been doing for a while, is walking around with my phone out while people are sitting on couches and virtually killing them while they watch stupid shows.
Now, I think this is a fun idea. I think
it's a super fun idea.
It's a super fun idea, but I think
this I see more of a Pokemon Go thing where, hey, this takes over for a few weeks.
This is gonna take over for a month, and then it'll be bye.
Right.
It's gonna be gone.
Bye.
Yep. Nah, I agree. All right, so now it is time for the nerd degree. The nerd degree is where that kind of nerd takes a look at a topic, a situation, some technology, and we give it the nerd degree. We asked our questions. Will this pass? Will this fail? I want to round out our conversation with AR, and I want to put it in a more practical sense, right? So let's get rid of gaming. Let's get rid of all of that. Let's do something that costs you, the user, $0 in order to interact with, but getting a great use out of it. And that is AR, an ARKit from Apple, being used to preview food before you buy it at restaurants. And the detail on this food is amazing. It's blowing my freaking mind how detailed this is.
Really, anything that Apple does, you can sign me up for. I think I'm on the record saying that about 1 billion times.
So this is a third-party company, though, selling the service to restaurants
Through Apple ARKit.
Correct. Yes.
I has a question.
Go ahead.
Doesn't the picture on the menu give me a preview of what I'm about to order?
Wait. Why are you going to restaurants with pictures on the menu? I need you to see.
Because I'm an uncultured swine, Josh.
I need you to stop. I'm not sure. Like the only, I mean, like Denny's with the moons over my hammy is the only. That's the image that comes to my mind.
Regardless if there's a picture in the menu or not, if I see in the description that it is a burger of some kind with cheese and avocado. I know what avocados look like.
Oh my god!
I also know what lettuce and tomato looks like, and
Brian,
maybe like
I think there's a stark difference between
of some kind.
There's a huge difference between.
My point is, I can imagine that in my brainscape, and then I can have cheeseburger. I don't need an app to do this.
I really like this very much, especially when you go to restaurants that don't need to put pictures on their menus. This really makes sense to me for getting people involved in new food, trying new things. Look, and here's the example I will cite. I took CJ to dinner one time and I said, I'm just going to order. He's like, well, I was going to get a burger. And I'm like, you're not eating a fucking burger here. I'm going to order. We're going to have a bunch of food and don't look at the menu, right? He starts eating the food. This is awesome. I'm like, that's liver. That's this, right? And It was just a bunch of, right? But when it came out, CJ, didn't it look amazing?
The presentation is what sold it, and the level of just thought that went into the food, better than just reading a menu description.
The presentation has nothing to do with how
has
this food
everything to do with the food,
No.
Brian.
No. What it had to do
not with
Brian,
how it tastes.
what it had to deal with is my ability to go ahead and try something I've never tried before. If it was just a pile of slop slapped on a plate, it's not gonna do it. And this is better than a description. Just reading something, seeing it in detail, and the detail's unreal. I mean, you see.
I see the chicken sandwich that you sent to me, and it looks very, very detailed. It looks like a fucking chicken sandwich that I could imagine in my brainscape.
I'm on board. We need to. Can we get a vote?
All right, so obviously the way that we always do this, A, B, C, D. Where do you rate this idea? I'm giving this an A+. This is give me more of this everywhere I go.
I give this an A+++, because that's my standard unit of measure.
Absolutely, that's what you do every week.
C-.
Wow.
C-.
And I hate you a little.
No, you don't.
All right, you're certainly entitled to the wrong opinion.
I would love to hear
my opinion.
Listener, you. Talking to you one-on-one right now. Need you to go check out the show notes to go see just how awesome this program is. And need you to reach out to us on Facebook, on Twitter, just search That Kind of Nerd. And I want you to tell Brian how wrong he is and how close-minded he is about this goddamn situation. Or if you agree with him, you yell at Josh and I, and we'll defend ourselves.
I have a very vivid imagination. I can imagine a chicken sandwich.
Okay, dude, the chicken sandwich is a different one.
You can't imagine a dish put together the way they're putting dishes together in New American cuisine. You can't imagine.
See,
I've seen
now
things.
Here's the thing, Josh.
Just a couple weeks ago, Laura and I went to brunch at Bolit, which is an amazing restaurant in the Lehigh Valley, and every course blew my mind the way it was presented, and it elevated the meal.
Here's my problem. You used the word cuisine. It's an unknown word to me, and I'm going to take it as a sign of offense.
Brian, I have taken you places and shown you food, and you've gone, I'm not sure, and then you've tried it, and what happens?
Josh, you and your knowledge of the food realm has nothing to do with
What I'm saying is you could take someone you know to a restaurant, and you could
say, hey, listen, this is not scary. See? You want to see the dish? It's not scary. Eat it.
Without me, you could envision the things that I would show to you without me there, and you go, you know what? That seems like something Josh would tell me to eat. I'm going to eat that.
Josh, I agree that you have indeed shown me the world, but I don't agree with you on this. I'm sorry.
Again,
Brian.
please sound off.
All right.
Tell us if Josh and I are just living a pipe dream and we're headed.
That was my Hail Mary. It's over.
So, listener, Brian and Josh absolutely love movies, right? You guys love the movies.
We love the movies.
We love them.
But we know that every movie is not perfect, and Hollywood is going to go ahead and remake some of these, and they're going to cast the wrong people. So we're going to ask them to cast this. And this week, we're looking at Spaceballs.
Cast this!
Spaceballs was not cast wrong, by the way.
No, it was not.
I think we're just doing it. We're just doing it 2017 style.
And like I said, there's a sequel that's going to be coming out for Spaceballs. It's in the works. And Hollywood's going to make the wrong decisions. And I need you guys to set them right on who should be in this movie. So I'm going to lay down some rules for this week. And it's thanks to Brian Roman, who's on our Patreon page. He got early access to the topics and wanted to go ahead and give us some suggestions. So I'm going to start, obviously, awarding points for the rounds. However, if you suggest more than one person for the role, you will be awarded a half point if you win. So please choose your casting choices carefully.
Brian is going to hate my cast so much.
I think Josh might hate my cast, so here we go. This is going to be fun.
So Josh, why don't you tell me who the first person that we are casting in this movie?
I'll tell you what, I will announce my pick, but Brian, you pick the character, please.
Let's start with Lone Star.
Okay.
Lone Star, who was played by Bill Pullman in Spaceballs, the original.
I cast Channing Tatum.
I hate you and everything you stand for.
I couldn't think of a more perfect pick.
Absolutely fucking not. Go ahead and explain to me.
No. I want to hear your pick first, and then you guys can fight it out.
Lone Star. I chose Chris Pratt.
That was my second pick.
Okay. So
I chose Chris Pratt.
So Channing Tatum and Chris Pratt. Josh, why is your pick better than Chris Pratt?
I agree with Chris Pratt. I agree that it's the same as Channing Tatum. They just serve two different things. They're both comedic. Chris Pratt, a bit more rugged. I'll go Chris Pratt on this one. That's fine. He was my second pick for Lone Star.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then
he was 1A, 1B. I went Channing Tatum because of my pick for Barf.
Okay, so wow, we're gonna give it to Brian. Brian, you've got 1 point on there. So let's see, who are we casting next, Brian?
Let's go with Princess Vespa, who was originally played by Daphne Zuniga.
Zuniga, yeah.
And she is the spoof, obviously, on Princess Leia.
She is the spoof on Princess Leia.
Brian, you won the last round. Who did you cast?
I won the last round, so I get to pick next.
Yep.
I chose Ellie Kemper, who is from The Office. She does some voice work in like Lego Batman. She's the voice of the Lego brick, but you probably also know her from The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Yeah, she's terrible, and I hate
You're
her.
terrible, and I hate everything you're about to say.
Josh Burns, who did you pick?
Brie Larson.
Ooh.
She's a better pick. She's capable of being badass, and she's capable of being lovable. She's cute and tough. Brie Larson's the right pick.
So I actually like both of these. So Brian, I'm curious to hear why yours is better than Brie Larson.
So I'm not gonna lie, I do like Brie Larson, but I don't think Vesper needs to be badass. I think she just needs to be kind of a funny, relatable, straight woman who can kind of play off of Lone Star. And
she was super badass. Daphne Zuniga was super badass. So was Princess Leia, who is the basis of this character.
I understand.
CJ, can you make a ruling for us?
Well, I want to hear something from you, Josh, because there's one aspect about this that I'm curious about. I haven't seen Brie Larson in a comedic role. So I'm curious.
That's not true. You have
22 Jump Street.
Oh, that's right.
not
I
true.
completely
You
forgot
have
about
Scott
that.
Pilgrim
21,
versus the World.
22 Jump Street.
That's right.
Yeah, and that.
Okay.
I'll concede.
I was
Brie
going to say,
Larson.
so I would say I'm going to give this to Josh for Brie Larson. So we are 1-1. Josh, you had mentioned Barf, so I would like to go ahead and see how you are replacing the great John Candy with Barf, which is the Chewbacca parody.
Fat Jonah Hill.
Does he have to be fat? Is that the
Fat Jonah Hill?
Fat
Jonah Hill.
Fat Jonah Hill.
Look, I was going to go skinny Jonah Hill for helmet, but I went, you know what? Fat Jonah Hill would be way better as Barf. So Fat Jonah Hill.
Okay.
You know
Brian?
what's funny? I thought Fat Jonah Hill. I just thought Jonah Hill and then said, well, he's going to have to gain some weight.
And then you went Seth Rogen instead.
No, I didn't go Seth Rogen. I decided to go a little not weird, but different with this. I chose Craig Robinson.
Oh, okay. So
Craig Robinson is also in The Office. He's
Yes.
the Daryl, the warehouse worker, but he's also been in stuff like Pineapple Express, This Is the End. He's in the new show coming out called Ghosted. He's been in a bunch of different stuff. I think the guy is.
No, I fucking hate you. That's perfect.
I was going to say that's really good, Josh. Do you have anything that you
I
can?
don't need to make
Come
a
on, man.
defense.
Make the argument
Josh
for Fat
concedes.
Jonah Hill. You just conceding?
Like, I got Barf going, I synced it. And that's it. I just, that was it for me.
Okay, Mr. Thornton, you won that round. That is now 2-1. You may pick the next character, please.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Let's go with Dot Matrix, who is the C-3PO knockoff in the movie. When we're thinking about this, obviously, whoever's going to be the voice of Dot Matrix, obviously we don't care about who's going to be in the suit or whatnot. So I chose Kristen Schaal, who is the voice of Louise on Bob's Burgers. She's been in Last Man Standing.
It's risky.
It's risky, but she's funny. She's got a very distinguishable voice.
Okay.
Yep. I think she's perfect.
All right, Josh, who you got?
She is almost perfect. Mine actually is perfect. I went Jane Lynch. Who you know from a million different things. Wreck-It Ralph. A ton of voices everywhere. 40-year-old virgin. Jane Lynch is both tough and comedic and can command the way that Joan Rivers did.
Listen, I right now I'm leaning more towards Josh. So Brian, you got to win me over on this one. Why is your pick better than Josh's?
He knows it is.
Does Dot Matrix really need to be
Yes.
in any way?
Yes.
Yes.
Joan, no, I don't
Yes.
think so.
She
is a
really
completely-
does.
She was very
She was
commanding.
very commanding in that movie. Absolutely. She was the complete opposite of C-3PO.
That's great, but I want you to think of, and CJ will know this. I want you to think of Louise and Bob's Burgers and how commanding of a character she is,
Right.
and she can pull that same exact comedic timing.
All right.
And when I think Dot Matrix, I think it's got to be a recognizable voice, something that.
Jane Lynch is super recognizable.
No, I don't
Way
agree.
more recognizable than Kristen Schaal.
I don't agree that Jane Lynch is recognizable.
I disagree wholeheartedly, man.
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah,
Wreck-It Ralph.
wholeheartedly.
Listen, valiant effort. I appreciate you putting up the fight, but it's going to Josh, which makes this tied.
Are we tied?
Which makes this tied.
We
Shit.
are. So we are going to go to President Scroob.
Yeah,
The-
let's go to President Scroob.
The Mel Brooks character.
I had a really hard time with this one, not gonna lie.
I actually didn't have a hard time with
Really? I feel like you should wrestle with this. This is Mel Brooks' character, and his combination is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the same that's on my luggage. So I'd love to hear, Josh, who you picked.
I can see why you would think you need to struggle because it's so important, but I went, okay, who's a bit older, could pull off Regal, could pull off slapstick, could pull off self-deprecating? George Clooney. Easy pick.
Ooh.
It wasn't even tough. George Clooney's the guy.
I don't know.
Okay, Brian, who did you pick?
For all the same reasons, but more of a comedic slapstick prowess, I chose Ben Stiller.
Oh, I hate that so much.
I know you hate it, but I imagine Ben Stiller.
Like, I'd go Jerry Stiller before I
But
went
that's the
Ben
thing.
Stiller.
I didn't. I thought Jerry Stiller, but I thought Jerry Stiller was too old.
Right, but then you went, he's too Mel Brooks, right? We need to bring him into the 21st century,
Which
and
is
make
why
him more
I said
regal.
Ben Stiller. I don't think the regal part needs to really matter so much. I think the slapstick part is what matters. I imagine Ben Stiller doing, kind of an amalgamation of like Zoolander meets like Starsky and Hutch character, and I think he could do it, and I think he could do it justice.
And I went George Clooney crosses the slapsticky "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" with Danny Ocean.
Okay, this is tough because as soon as you said George Clooney, my gut reaction was no, and then I did. I remembered "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou," and I was hoping you were going to bring that up because it's a very unique character that he played. Ben Stiller, though, I mean that's great. I you know that the guy's ready to commit to anything. You bring in Dodgeball, you bring in things like Zoolander, and you know that the guy's willing to kind of be an idiot when he needs to be, but he's also got good instincts. So this is really, really tough. So I'm thinking, though, all right, this is going to be controversial. I am going to pick George Clooney.
You're wrong.
Yes,
I just think no, Brian. Right, I think it's worth the risk, and I think he can pull it off.
Here's why you're wrong, and I will respect the ruling, and I will not make you overturn it. But here's why you're wrong. When you think of comedy movies and comedy box office draws and what Hollywood wants in their movie to get people to a comedic theater, you do not think George Clooney. You think people like Ben Stiller, you think Seth Rogen, you think Jonah Hill.
So, Josh, since you just won that round, I'm going to go ahead and say who's our next character and who are we casting?
We will cast Lord Helmet.
All right, and Brian, I'm going to give you the honor of going ahead and give us your pick for Lord Helmet.
Oh, I had a tough time with this one too.
Me too.
Because how can you replace Rick Moranis?
Yeah, it's impossible.
I went with Steve Carell.
Okay. I mean, I don't hate it. I went Dave Franco.
Dave Franco.
The
Okay,
younger brother, James Franco, tiny little guy, comedic, scrappy.
That's out there. Give me the defense of Dave Franco because I only think stoner type with him, and I can't think of much else.
No, I went. He's a funny little dude. James Franco's the stoner. Dave Franco, not so much. Funny little dude. He actually fits the part. He's very, very short. Like he's an inch taller than Rick Moranis. He's in the same age group as the rest of the cast, which is what sort of the theme I went with. Steve Carell is far older than the rest of the cast. Funny, yes. I don't see him as Helmet.
Yeah. So Brian, I can see why this was tough. That's an interesting pick too, with Steve Carell. Walk me through that a little bit as to why that was your pick.
Yeah, the only thing I struggle with on this pick is that he is quite older. He's even older than most of my cast here. I mean, honestly, every role I see Steve Carell in, he's very Rick Moranis like. His comedic timing, his kind of he's got the ability to play kind of dumb but play like slapstick at the same time. I chose him purely on his ability as an actor. I think, with, the hair dye and the wonders of movie magic, we can make him look younger, to make him look like his brother's mother's cousins twice removed. I still think that would be a better pick than Dave Franco.
Okay, so give me, with a 30-second timer, give me why your pick is better, and we're going to start with Josh. Josh, why is your pick better?
I mean, to revisit, younger, fits the cast better. He is slapsticky. He can be perceived as sort of easily defeated. I don't really have much else. I don't hate Steve Carell. I just think he's way too old for the role.
Okay, and Brian, why is your pick better?
Steve Carell is Rick Moranis. End of story.
I don't think that's the end of the story.
It is the end of the story.
Oh, I disagree. CJ,
those were piss poor arguments. Like I don't know why I don't know why Steve Carell's better than Dave Franco. Like that's the part I'm stuck on. Like, what about Dave Franco is not Lord Helmet?
What about Dave Franco? Okay, you want to know what about it? He's not the pot stoner guy. He is the friend that nobody wants to invite to the party. He is kind of
Kind of Lord Helmet.
Yeah,
No,
you're kind of
that's
making
not
the
Lord
argument
Helmet.
there.
No. That's not Lord Helmet. He
is. He's the lonely guy. He's forever alone. That's Dave Franco.
No. I don't think Dave Franco is that at all. I think Dave Franco is the frat brother. He's the character from Neighbors who is like kind of just going with the crowd type of thing. I don't think he is.
I went more with the
alone.
Now You See Me Too Dave Franco that gets sort of beat up but always comes out on top kind of guy.
I'm gonna say based off the arguments right there. Unfortunately, Brian, you just kind of hurt yourself and just sold Dave Franco. I'm sorry, Dave Franco for the point.
All right. Well, since I won that round and can't lose this battle, I will go with the last character, Colonel Sanders. My pick was Evan Peters, who we know as Quicksilver in the X-Men movies, among other things.
The guy from Kick-Ass?
Yeah, Kick-Ass. Evan Peters. Yeah,
okay.
As Colonel Sanders.
Okay.
He's super funny. His timing's great. He's able to play cynical, smart ass. It's I thought he fit right away.
And Brian, your pick.
Jason Sudeikis.
What? Jason Sudeikis?
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
I think he's funnier. I think he is better. I think of his character from Horrible Bosses, the guy who like tries to be straight-laced but kind of like goes off every once in a while. I think that's the Colonel Sanders character.
Okay, I'm actually leaning towards Sudeikis here, Josh. Why is your pick better than Jason Sudeikis?
He's again quite a bit younger. Just fits the cast better. I think he's just as sarcastic and sort of expressive, demonstrative, things like that. But I don't hate Sudeikis. I just don't like him as much.
Okay, well, I'm actually going to give it to Jason here. I think Brian's pick is pretty on point. I'm sorry it does not award you the win. However, it is a valiant and very close fight. But ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this cast is Josh Burns.
I tried really hard this week, and I hate you, CJ.
Oh, Brian.
This edition of Spaceballs is brought to you by one of my employees who suggested we do this today.
Well, you'll get him next week, Brian.
Okay, so we obviously have a lot of topics that we want to hear from you, especially when it comes to Cast This. So please, if you want to support our show, go to patreon.com/thatkindofnerd. Get access to topics early. Early topics start at least $5, just $5. Keeps our bills on, but also gets you some exclusive access. So I am CJ Mellon. Thank you so much for making us your walk around your neighborhood or your drive to work. I always have to thank Josh Burns and Brian Thornton for joining me, and we will see you all next week.
If you love comics and sci-fi and technology, television, video games, and fantasy, well, take a listen to our show. I'm sure you'll see there's many points where we can agree. Like that Martha as a plot point was just too absurd, and Apple versus Android is a case to be heard, and that Josh Trank's new Fantastic Four was a turd. Well, welcome to the club, cause you are that kind of nerd.
All right. Hello, and welcome to That Kind of Nerds podcast, a weekly show that tells you what's going on in the nerdy world. I'm CJ Mellon, joined by Josh Burns and Brian Thornton on a sugar high, ladies and gentlemen.
Why do you have to spoil the ending? You're that guy. Oh, by the way, Kevin Spacey's guys are so say. Fuck all of you. You're that guy.
Wait a minute. How the hell was
Asshole.
this? How was you having a ton of fruit?
By the way, hey. Bruce Willis was dead all the time. just wanted to fucking ruin everything for you, by the way.
How is that a spoiler? Like, are we going to save that for the end? Oh, by the way, everybody, Brian
I
was
want
on
everybody
sugar.
to listen to this podcast saying, is he drunk? Is he high?
Do you have a problem, CJ, with Brian's fruits by the foot?
No, I don't.
They were fruity and
I do
also
appreciate though the
delicious.
proper conjugation of pluralization of fruit. by the foot.
You, sir, earlier were calling them fruit by the foots, by the feet. Like
No, fruit by
like,
the foots.
First of all, you said the word foots, and my head nearly exploded. Like
Foots isn't even a word.
Wait. How did this turn on me?
Because I'm fun right now.
Oh, he's fun, Brian, everybody. It's fun, Brian.
What's the plural of moose?
Moosin!
There you go.
God, well, there's some sting right there.